about building a territory in around Orange County, Florida. And the challenge here is we've got a county, and the company wants to split the territories between zip codes on either side of I-4, which you can't see right here. I've got the county layer turned on, and I've got the zip code layer turned on. You can see I-4, I believe, comes down one of the middle of the roads. But what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to turn on the Add Map Layer button and just bring in the highway so that I have an overall highway layer. And you can see that pops I-4 out right in the middle of the screen. So that kind of helps. Now I'm going to turn the county layer on and the zip code layer on. And for both of those layers, I am going to go into the zip code layer over here in Map and Data by clicking that Edit gear. I hover my mouse over the Edit gear, and I'm just going to make my fill transparent. And I've already made my boundary bright blue and a little bit thicker, so I can see the zip codes. They're what's colored in blue boundary. And I've got my fill is a little bit transparent, and I am going to need my fill turned on because I want to select them. And then the county layer, I've thickened here in the drop down. I made it a thicker red, and that makes the counties kind of obvious. And I looked up when I initially came here. I looked up Orange County, Florida, up here in the upper left, and that's what put that little label there, Orange County, Florida. But you can see it's in there too, Orange County. So now we've got zip codes, and if I look at the zip codes here, you know, some of them do overlap, some of them don't. So it's not a disaster, but what I would do is I would take this button up here, which is the search tools, and in the drop down I would choose the search data and polygon tool, which is selected in green. Then I go to the map, and let's just assume I'm just going to create a territory right along using I-4 as the basis, and any zip code I draw that line through is going to get selected. So I'm just going to keep it in Orange County. You could certainly go outside of the county if you wanted to. And I'm just going to take that polygon all the way down to the end. So it's any zip code you touch, it's going to get included. You bring it back to the beginning, and now we're going to search the zip code layer. Click next, and we're going to call that territory 1. Create it. So now I've got a list of 31 zip codes out of the 33,000 plus boundaried zip codes across the United States, and that's how my territory looks. And you can see that there is some overlap on I-4. So you can address that in a couple of ways. You can either allow it to exist and just be aware of it when you're, putting accounts in, or you can choose to pull those zip codes out. And how would you do that? Well, I'm going to get rid of the polygon that I just drew, so I don't need that any longer. So let's say you wanted to get rid of a zip code. So let's say we wanted to select that one. So I click it, and it gives me an option. Am I choosing the territory or the zip? I'm going to choose the zip. And then I can click that territory button. That's what that little blue puzzle piece is. And I can remove it. So I'm going to remove it from territory 1. And if we go back and look, you'll see it is now removed. It's highlighted in yellow still, but you've lost that part. So maybe you keep this part in and that part out, or maybe you want to just be true to your school, and you can hold down the shift key and you can select any territory you want and add it to this list. Now, if it was me, these 2 territories I would not include in my poll. So I would simply go back to the beginning and select just that one, because there's not that much area that's overlapping there. So I just deal with the ones that were the major incursion into the other territory, and I'd remove that. So just as a matter of cleanup, then we go to the territory layer here, just like zip code and counties, we can edit it. We can make it transparent. We can make the boundary line a weird color, maybe purple. Now that I've got my territory kind of established here, I might want to go back and make those county boundaries just a little less obnoxious. Maybe red, maybe not red, maybe brown or something like that. So there's your first territory. And then if you import records, customer records into the map, your customers will show up in here and you'll have a territory view. So in the data window view, which is always available right there, that's the data window, you'll have the ability to look at your territories. So this is territory 1 right there. And you can go into territory 1 and you can get rid of information in the analysis view that you don't require. And maybe you've got imported data that you brought in, or you want to bring over some demographic data or some other information that might be pertinent to your business. But again, data that you've imported would be available here. And so you can bring that data in, and that becomes your territory analysis view. That's all exportable right there. And there's your territory. Go to mapbusinessonline.com and take our free trial.